Looks like we have people coming into the room. I'll give a few minutes for everyone to come in, but I'll just quickly introduce myself. I'm Michael. I'm part of the marketing team here at Form Kitchens. And I just wanted to say thank you for joining our first ever kitchen design clinic, which will be run by Kristen, who runs our content and customer experience teams. And then we have our wonderful senior designers, Janel and Eva, here as well. Today is really about learning how to coordinate your style and knowing which materials go with what. And really, this is about a conversation. We want to make this a workshop feel. So if you do have questions, please ask them. You can either use the chat section below or the Q&A section, and I will make sure your questions get answered. But we're excited to have you join us, and we hope you get a lot of value out of this. And please ask questions. And without further ado, I'll turn it over to Kristen.
Hi, everyone. I thought I would start with a bit of an introduction to our inspiration guide. I'm going to keep this short because today the floor is yours. It's all about your style questions. But for those who haven't downloaded the inspiration guide, I thought it might be worth just having a little bit of a look at it. And of course, if you have brought any questions directly related to it, please do ask them today, or feel free to jump on a call with one of our designers, Eva or Janelle, at a later stage. So I'm just going to share my screen now, and I just wanted to first of all show you what it looks like. So this is our inspiration guide. It's full of ready-made element boards. So what I mean by this is over 100 kitchens, which sounds like a lot, all deconstructed into different boards with all the different samples, everything you need to get that look. And the idea is it's a shortcut. We know there's a lot of inspiration out there. A lot of customers come to Form with a lot of inspiration. So this is something that we've developed to help people really identify what they want and then be able to actually walk away and start shopping for those things. So get inspired and shop the look is the mantra. The cool thing about it is we've also incorporated our brand marketplace. So we've got tiles from fire clay that are in some of the scenes that you'll see, Caesar stone for worktops. We've got Stuga flooring in some of the images. We've got schoolhouse for lighting and backdrop for paint. So it's a great combination to get the total look. And of course, you can customize it as well. And the last thing to say is that there's a lot of mood boards, element boards in here, but we've broken them into categories. So hopefully from your point of view, it's very much about going, okay, I'm someone who's drawn to wood-based kitchens, or maybe it's lighter kitchens, darker kitchens, colored ones. So you find your theme and then work through those. And we've done the same with other rooms as well. So if you go forward with a Form project, you can then talk to your designer about other rooms in the house that you might want to add to your orders. So closets, bathrooms, we've even got specific islands that you might want to incorporate into your main kitchen. We've got pantries, we've got mudrooms, we've got all sorts of things. So anywhere that you need customized storage in your home. So at that point, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to hand over to Janelle and Eva, because I know you'll have questions for them. I'm going to stay on the call because I'm dying to hear I always love hearing what customers have got to say. And obviously, thank you for joining us and look forward to hearing what you've got to say.
Well, we actually have our first question that came through. So let me just get this up. First question is, wood is so popular right now, but how much is too much?
I mean, it's always go ahead, Janelle. Floor is yours.
Okay, so behind me, you can see some wood right there. I think as Form designers, even though we do focus a lot on kitchens and cabinetry, we want to take into consideration your whole space. So what kind of furniture you're going to be surrounded by, what your floors are, and making sure that's all balanced. But there's always a way to incorporate something you love with enough harmony with the other elements.
Great. We have a two-parter coming in on this one. Is there any, I'm going to kick this one over to Eva. Is there any issue with hiding the wall ovens by using a full-length pocket door? And the follow-on here is a vent required for a cooktop.
You would like I'll take the part B first.
Okay.
You do want ventilation around your cooktop if you can. I mean, you want to make sure everything exhausts out, especially if it's a gas hood. There's a lot of natural gas coming out. So you want to be able to exhaust that outside for safety reasons. Also just heat and smells. If you make a salmon, do you want to smell it for 2 days? Probably not. So exhaust hood, I definitely recommend. As for hiding ovens behind pocket doors, it's something we don't see a whole lot because there is so much heat generated behind them, and there is exhausting kind of on the front of those appliances and sometimes in the back too. So I think if you do want to hide them, we'd want to look through all of the appliance specs to see. It's not something we definitely want to recommend. We definitely want those things to be safety first, you know? I don't want to cause a fire hazard in your home.
Great answer. We got another one coming in, this one from Mary. Janelle, I'm going to kick this over to you because I believe you have a dog.
I do.
I have big dogs. What materials are more dog resistant? What materials are less so?
Oh, love this. I too have a big dog and I live in a climate that has constant change in weather. So today she's covered in mud, all 80 pounds of her. We actually have amazing resilient materials here. These are German cabinets. So they're going to be lacquered laminates or melamines, and they're going to be so much more scratch and water and any other liquid like mud resistant than a porous material like a wood. So really the breadth of our catalog has some amazing resistance. If your dog is constantly rubbing on your cabinetry, I might suggest something that doesn't have as much texture, so you're not having to wipe it down as often with, you know, getting those little fun dust, debris, and hairs in the every cranny and nook you've got. But all of our materials are going to be very, very sturdy.
Excellent. This one, another one coming in with the wood and light kitchen. I see a lot of hidden panel appliances. If you're going with standard appliances, what color do you recommend? White, stainless steel, black? So I guess this is if it's not paneled. Is there a color you recommend?
You know, it's a kind of a rhythm of the kitchen. You know, if I'm gonna pick and what kind of feel you're going for. If you're trying to be dark and moody, maybe the dark stainless black and the darker tones are where you want to go. If you want light, bright, and airy, maybe the white and the stainless steel kind of harken that and make it feel lovely inside, you know? That's one of the things we're here for, is we want to hear what inspires you and make it happen for you. So it's not a this or that. It's more about an emotion you're trying to create in your home.
Love that. Love that. Okay, who is our resident soapstone expert? Because the next question is, can you discuss the downside to using a soapstone countertop?
I love soapstone. I'll take this one. Okay, if you don't like to see your stone or your countertop change throughout its lifespan, then don't get soapstone. You're gonna see some light scratches, you're gonna see some oil marks, or just the life that you live is gonna be in that countertop. But it's also what makes it have its nice character, because it is that kind of honed, a little bit rougher surface. It lends itself to patina and age with your kitchen, which I think is beautiful. But if that drives you nuts, don't do it. It's almost like if you think about a butcher block countertop, a wood countertop, you can see all those bits of using your kitchen. It's the same concept, except with soapstone, you can mineral oil or wax it back so it can have that, you know, newer vibe once again. It's whether you want to continue to do that or not, or you don't mind the wear and tear that it shows. I would love soapstone. I would never let my mother buy it. We're just very different people. So if you're someone that doesn't like to see any of those little marks, then I would avoid it. But if you're okay with it, it's a great, great countertop. It is the only stone that you can put a boiling hot pan right on it, and it's perfectly fine. That's why they have it in your science labs.
Great. This one is about drawers versus doors. I'm seeing a trend toward drawers, but I've never stored things like plates and cups in them, and I'm worried about practicality. So how do you all feel about drawers versus doors?
Oh, I have a form kitchen and everything I had that could have a drawer is a drawer. I'm so much more efficient and organized this way. And when you open things up, you can see it and you're not hunting for it or, getting down on your knees and scrambling to try to find it. It makes, especially if you're trying to bake and cook and organize your plates, there you can set everything up so everything has a spot and a place, and it brings my heart joy to be that organized. And then even if you're not organized, at least you can open up and be like, it's not in this one, let's move on and find it. It's somewhere. So for me, I'm a big drawer lover, and I have to say with the big, larger drawers that we offer, and the inserts that you can put in them, you can really fine tune and create something that is exactly what you're after and what you need out of your life.
That's fantastic. Okay. By the way, thank you everyone for all these questions. They're starting to stack up. These are great. The next one is the cooktop, the oven, the fridge, they all emit heat. Is there a guideline for how far apart they should be?
Away from walls and tall panels, cooktops, yes, it's usually 9 to 13 inches away from, say, the tall unit that's over Janelle's shoulder, like if there was a cooktop next to that tall oven. But it's really it comes down to the size of your kitchen and reading the appliance specs and following through and making sure everything is appropriate. There's not a true limit to say where a fridge is, just functionality on if you can make sure you can open those doors and drawers and use it and not have it wedged into a wall where you can only open the door 90 degrees.
Yes, we live and breathe by your appliance specs.
Yes. And saying that, if you do want to work with us, the more appliance knowledge the more knowledge you know about your appliances and what you want to use, the better we can direct you in a design.
Amazing. Well, that tees up, we got some product specific questions coming through. So the first is, what is the maximum height for your cabinets, floor to ceiling with one cabinet? So I guess how tall can a single cabinet go?
93 3/4. But we also stack cabinets very frequently. So whatever height you're trying to accomplish, we can get there.
Great. This is a question about materials. So your website mentions that your product uses best-in-class materials. Can you go into more detail on this? What makes them great? How do you compare to a brand like Eggersman?
I'm not familiar with Eggersman, are you?
I am not, unfortunately. I will say, they're German, so the German engineering goes with that. And so all of our hardware is slow close. The drawers and the doors, all those drawers are going to be steel and metal. You can even pop the front face off the drawers and clean inside if you need it and pop it back. They're designed to be hard wearing. We have an entire technical guide that really showcases how much engineering and science goes into making sure they're durable and tough, that they'll withstand a lifetime of use. So we do stand behind that, and they're really proud to kind of make sure that from the day you have your kitchen and start using it until years down the line, that it still looks this showroom ready, I guess you could say. It still is going to be wonderful.
Amazing.
And if you're looking at a less expensive European brand versus us, a lot of times what I think is the most blaring difference is the edge banding, and ours is going to be heat sealed and laser edge banded, so it's just clean and as seamless as physically possible. It's great.
Great.
But we do send you samples as part of your design process, so you would see those in person too.
That's a fantastic shout.
Yeah, it's a full large door sample, and it's a real door. They're heavy, and you can really hold the weight of them.
Absolutely. This is a great question. So looking at your guide, Inspiration Kitchen 004 versus 008, they look fairly similar, but there seems to be a difference in price. Can you share some of the features in your catalog that can increase or decrease a project's budget within a similar look? Great question.
So we have an alpine white that runs through our catalog. And one of the variations of it has an extra layer to it that gives it kind of not a fingerprint free, but it helps against the fingerprints. So that's just one extra layer that goes into the many layers of lacquer laminate in its composition to keep it that way. You can lose that layer and kind of drop a price. And it's a balance to what is efficient for you, cost, budget, all of those things we're working with our cabinets and what you want to spend and do.
In part of our revision phase, we do release a detailed price breakdown of every single part of your kitchen. So you can decide, I really love that corner pull-out cabinet, but maybe I just can't do the peg system. I want to prioritize that toe kick lighting, so I'm going to ditch this cutlery divider. It's a very transparent way to work and get to that comfortable price point for you.
It's also great because it's modular, so it's a lot of plug and play. We can have 2,000 to 3,000 cabinets in our line, so you can tell me, oh, this doesn't make sense for my life. I need drawers here or doors here, and we can swap them out and work on that with you. But I think you asked about the cabinet doors themselves. They are all going to be, the boxes are going to be the same. It's the doors that change the price significantly. And some of our faux glass ones have a lot more layers, and that can be a higher price group. But primarily, the lower the price group, the lower the price for almost anything in the industry. And most of our clients are in the 2 to 4 land, not 10 to 9, 7 to 10. So they're in most of the things you see on our website are more affordable for everyone.
That's great. This is actually circling back to cabinet height. Can you remind me how many different widths of cabinet boxes you offer?
Wait.
10.
Yeah. Good job. Jumped them in my head.
11 if you include the 30-inch width for ovens, but that's kind of a specialty one.
But they're letting us do it in some base cabinets too. They're opening up.
Okay, I like this one. So this is from someone who's actually in process with us, and they used to work with C-Matic, and they feel like they're getting the same quality and design support, but at a third of the price. And she would love to know, how do we keep our prices down?
We're digital. It kind of helps. We don't have a showroom floor. We have some selection centers, but keeping us out of showrooms really does help bring the cost down. I used to work for an Italian company, so I can also speak to the fact that we are doing something pretty amazing with our quality. I've lived with both of those kitchens. I have one now, and I had one that one, and they're so comparable. I don't feel like I'm missing anything with having gone from an Italian brand to our German one.
That's fantastic. And then there's a follow-on question about actually, Eva, you mentioned the selection centers. If I go to your San Francisco selection center, can I see most materials there? I'm in Arizona, so would love to understand the process for getting samples sent to me so I can see the materials. So it's a question about what you can see in the selection centers, and then how you get samples in the normal process.
Yeah, selection centers are going to have the breadth of our line. So they're going to have an example of all of our finishes and a ton of interior accessories and options as well. We actually just opened a new location in San Francisco, and it's a much larger, much more robust selection, which is great. I can't wait for you to see it and meet Marlon, our wonderful coworker. To get the cabinet samples sent to you is part of our design process. So you would book a design call. We would give you a rough estimate. We'd make sure we're a good fit for your timeline. We'd go over what you're inspired by, what your aesthetic is. If we're a great fit, then we would send you a deposit link. You would pay a $299 deposit fee, and that would get you a render set, samples, and a first design. So we'd go further into your design details in a meeting, and then meet up again, show you the renders, and let the magic begin from there.
Amazing, amazing. Here's a great question around install. How is installation handled?
So we would like you to handle your GC typically, or you find a local general contractor in your area to handle install. We also have a growing network of people that have installed. So we probably have somebody in your area maybe. But if you don't have one, we're there the entire way to walk you through how to install our cabinetry. We create an entire installation guide to walk you through it. We have a ton of videos and information on our webpage to do it. And there's an amazing support team that's all they handle is calls and questions. And they'll hop on a FaceTime call. They'll hop on a just anytime to answer your questions and make sure that you're comfortable, your installer's comfortable, and anything that you have is answered. And then of course, us as the designers, you can message us anytime and we'll put you in the right direction, answer the question if we know it, and just make sure that from the minute you talk to me to the minute your kitchen's done, that you are in good hands and you feel confident and comfortable with your space in your kitchen.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, so many questions. This is so fun. What's the difference between premium and luxury internal features as mentioned in your book? Are there certain features that skew up, or yeah?
It's some features are going to have a heavier price point than others. The real difference between the premium and the luxury is the amount of them. So in a premium price point, you're still going to have some adjustable shelves, which in a kitchen is totally normal and still very, very useful. And in a luxury, you're going to have mostly moving parts, and there's going to be accessories in a lot of them. So premium, you're going to have a lot of moving parts, some accessories. Luxury, mostly. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Here's a question going back to materials. Are your materials VOC and toxin free?
They are Blue Angel certified, and if you're familiar with LEED certified in the US, that's the European kind of equivalent. So they do really strive to have a lot less VOCs and recycling, and they meet that criteria in Germany, which my guess is it might be a little bit higher there than it is here. I haven't compared them in a while to see where we stack up, but they definitely do try to be very environmentally friendly.
And on our website, you can download our technical guide that's going to have more information on all those certifications for you to do a deep dive in as well.
Great. Another material question here. Are the quote unquote wood options, are they real wood, or what's the materiality there?
It is a wood reproduction. So it's showing a wood look as close as you can get without having to have the maintenance of wood. So it's going to be a melamine or a laminate.
And it does have a texture to it. So it does mimic
yeah.
real wood.
Yes.
Great. Let's see. Okay, here we go. In your guide, what prices are included and excluded? For instance, is the countertop included in your price?
Oh, good question. It's not.
Oh, do you want me to
Shipping
answer?
is? Yes, go ahead.
There's one I can answer. It's to do with the guide.
Oh, sorry. We've just been talking right over.
No. I just thought I'd chip in to say that the prices that are on that guide are related just to the cabinetry. So anything else in terms of paint, countertops, etc., will be on top of that.
It is the handles, like the hardware that you see, and the built-in lighting. So any of the lighting you see built into the cabinets are going to be included as well.
Okay, going down the line here, we've got a question about open shelving. I love open shelving, but is this something I'm going to regret over time?
That's a good question.
I think so I have some open shelving, but I use it as an accent. I put it as a display piece in my home. It's not where I keep my glasses and plates. For me, I don't want to see that or worry about dusting that or washing or rinsing a plate whenever I'm going to use it. So it's kind of, I think, a personal preference, and how you live. I kind of always say, do you really want to know what my cereal boxes look like? I don't. So I'm not going to put them on a shelf. But, you know, for me, it's kind of us talking together and saying, you know, where your line is, what's important to you.
Yeah, we get to know each other really well, and there's going to be some honest questions. Do you have a lot of plastic kid cups? Do you want to see them?
Yes. Do you want your Tupperware on display?
Yeah.
Oh, this is a great question. Will you help either source or buy or advise on the non-cabinetry elements of a kitchen, like the sink or dishwasher or countertops?
I've given recommendations and thoughts
Yeah.
and experience. We've both been doing this for so long that we can't help ourselves but know the market and what we see and what's inspiring.
Yeah,
And
I
kind
can't
of
be
share
tamed.
that. Yeah, we share that, love to share that knowledge. You know, it's in our heart to share and be a good designer and make you happy.
And countertops, we do partner with Caesarstone, so that's when we can even send you samples of and price out for installation as well. But I know both of us used to be in the world of full showrooms, so we actually worked with appliances and plumbing quite often.
Great. Sorry, I'm just flipping through here. Okay, we have one more coming through. Is green the next big thing in cabinetry color?
Feels
It is
like
one of them.
warmer. I think so.
Yeah.
Bolder. People are being bolder in their choices and not being chained to a white kitchen, I think, anymore. I think people are going to branch out and enjoy life and living with color and playing with texture more than they ever have.
Yeah, I think green's always been a color that I've seen in custom homes and kitchens that I've designed, but I think it's finally getting more approachable for people to show a little bit of color and not worry so heavily on resale. It's always something we're going to consider if that's a priority for you, but the market's changed and people are getting a little more funky, which is fun.
It's
Okay,
your
we have
home, enjoy it.
Yeah.
I love that. We have time for one more, and then just for everyone on the Q&A thread, we're capturing all these questions. So if they didn't get answered on this webinar, we will certainly follow up with answers. This one is there a typical install problem with these cabinets?
Is there a typical? Well, Eva, you installed one.
I did. So I think the biggest one is having people that have never installed one before be very nervous of them. And I would say even the crew that installed mine had never installed a European kitchen before, and setting them at ease was a big part of it. Our cabinets arrive assembled, so you're not building anything, which is lovely. You're not flat packing. It's all assembled. So you're really just kind of putting it in place. You're adding feet to the base cabinets. The upper cabinets hang on the rail. So I think that's, for me, has been the biggest challenge sometimes is our clients, installers sometimes are a little nervous about it because it's unfamiliar. But once they see the guide that we send, they talk to us and talk to the support team. I feel like they relieve a lot of the anxiety of it.
Yeah, getting your installer or your contractor to connect with our installation support sooner than later is always the best. They can get involved as close into the project as you want.
I've even
Great.
had them on some of my the last calls I have with clients, just to ask
Totally.
me questions. And I'm happy to be there for that. I want to be there for that because I used to be in the field all the time. So
Yeah,
I
this is
want
your
to
kitchen,
help
but
you.
it's our baby.
Well, we're just about at time. First of all, Eva and Janelle, thank you so much. This was so informative and so helpful. Kristen, thank you for putting this together, and thank you for everyone who came out. These questions were just fantastic. We still have about 5 or 6 more that we need to answer, but what we'll be doing after this is we'll be following up with a recording of this so you can rewatch it. You can also respond to that email if you have other questions. We are here to help. That's our whole mindset here at Form, is to help you with this difficult thing that is a renovation. And we will also be sending out scheduling links. So if you are considering a project or about to get going, you can actually book time directly with Eva or Janelle and start to get estimates and ideas together for your own project. But thank you so much, everyone, for all the time, the great questions. This was such a great conversation, and we look forward to connecting soon with you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thanks.
everyone. Bye.